listening to a little NPR. They were talking about Chuck Berry. And funnily enough, there's a lot of songs of his that I've heard a million times and didn't even know were him. So, learn something new every day. But anyway, yeah, so we're coming up on the Bainbridge exit. Looks like we're going to be able to get to do a quick tour before it gets too dark. Hopefully this will be watchable, aside from the filthy windows. Sorry about that, but upstate New York in the winter, it's kind of hard to avoid, so it is what it is. I hate it. I like having a clean car, and this time of year it's impossible. I wash this thing at least once a week in the winter to avoid rust. I still see some rust. It doesn't matter how much you wash a car up here, it's going to get rusty after a while because of the salt. So that's fun. But yeah, so please pardon the terribly filthy windows. I've done my best to clean them. So we're going to go, I don't know, go up past my old house because we spent a lot of time there. Go past the school. Go past both houses where he lived. So he can see them. And then I'm stopping at a gas station to get gas because I'm on empty and I've got to piss like there's no tomorrow. And I want to stop now, but I want to get this little drive around in Bainbridge done before it gets too dark to be able to see anything. It's not optimal as it is because it's overcast and it's 5 minutes of 7, so it's getting late. Although in a couple months, about this time of day, it'll still be broad daylight out, which is cool. I like winter, but I have to say at this point I'm starting to look forward to not being cold when I go outside, and I'm looking forward to being able to keep my car clean. Going back to what I was talking about before. Kayak, get the kayak out, do some of that, do some hiking. Here we are in Bainbridge. But for now we're stuck with gloomy skies and gray weather and mud and snow. I love the snow, I hate the aftermath, especially like after recently with this big snowstorm we got. The town I live in got 48 inches of snow in about a 24-hour period. Down here got a little less than that. I think they got more like 3 feet. Not that that's any slouch. A lot of it's melted off by now because we've had a few sunny days here where it got kind of warm, which was cool, but it sucked because it made you want to go outside, and then you go out there and you're sinking in the mud, and there's not really a whole lot you can do yet until all this snow melts and the ground dries up. Going outside is still a pretty messy proposition, so yeah, you just wait. This traffic circle's fairly new and people still haven't figured out how to use it. Don't signal to say which way they're going, they don't think to stop when getting onto it, they don't understand who has the right of way. So yeah. Alright, well, first on the sightseeing tour, such as it is, we're gonna go by my friend's first house that he lived in when he and his parents first moved to Bainbridge. They moved here from Russia, Moscow. I can only imagine how what a change it must have been to come from a city in a whole different country to a teeny little town like this in upstate New York in America. But that's the place right there, this gray one here on the left. Spent a lot of time there as a kid, hanging out, playing computer games, that kind of shit. Cleaning our cars. We're obsessed with our first cars, so that was all we did for a while, was meet up and detail our junky old cars that we were our prized possession at that time, because, you know, a couple of 17-year-olds with their first cars, and we thought we were the coolest. He had a Nissan Sentra Special Edition, if I remember right. It was a Sentra hatchback that you don't see too often. It's actually a kind of cool little car. beat up and, you know, I think you paid a couple grand for it at the most. And I had my dad's hand-me-down Isuzu Trooper, 1987 model. So now we're taking it right up this hill that we used to ride bikes down and stuff back in the day, and we're going to be going left and going by the house I grew up in, which was another place we spent a lot of time hanging out, played basketball in the driveway. There's the place. It's about the same except for the lack of pine trees in the front yard and the addition over here on the side that wasn't there. Basketball hoops moved a little bit. It used to be over on the garage, which, no, it's still there, but their addition has changed things, so good to see it's still getting used for basketball. It was always a good spot for that. Up here we have the elementary school. Not much to see here. We used to come up here and play basketball a lot too when we wanted to play full court game. So that's that. So that's where I grew up. That's where I went to high school or elementary school. And then let's see. Next stop on this extremely exciting tour of good old Bainbridge, New York will be my friend's other house that his parents moved into after living in Bainbridge for a few years. Nicer place, out of town a little bit. Not really, just right up here on the hill, but I always loved that place. Had a big, lots of room, big windows. Up there, that's where our friend Chris lived. He was another one of the basketball regulars up in my driveway. And now we're gonna hang a right, go by my friend's second house. This guy's looking at me like, where's that guy got a camera on his head? People probably can't even see me. It's just a funny feeling, and I've worn this thing on my head for lots of stuff, but it never, you're always conscious of it. The idea of walking around with a camera strapped to your forehead is a little ridiculous when you think about it. It's become commonplace these days since GoPro cameras have become a pretty common thing. But you'll always get that one person who's never seen one before and looks at you like you're some kind of weirdo. Just checking to make sure my lens cap's off. And Mount Pleasant Drive. This is the road that his other house is on. This was a fun one because this road goes out in the middle of nowhere, and back when we first got our licenses, that was where we'd go to do our not so responsible driving, I guess you'd call it. Tearing around like a couple of assholes would be a more accurate way to put it, I suppose. But yeah, it's somewhere right up here on the left. A couple houses down off the side of the bank here. Not that one. Somewhere up here. I think. We might not be able to see it from the road. I think that. Is that it? I think we've gone past it. It's down there somewhere. I know that much. Man, I haven't been up this road in a long time. I also forgot there's nowhere to turn around until you're all the way at the top. Well, at least you get a nice scenic view of the valley from up here. But yeah, we used to fly up and down this road at very unsafe speeds. Don't do that anymore. Cruising along at a steady 35 miles an hour here. But that's because I'm a grown-up now and I'm very mature and all that, you know. I don't screw around. Yeah, my gas light is on. I don't want to turn around here because there's a blind hill here. I remember that. But I can turn around up here in the driveway of one of my sister's friends. I don't know who lives here now. I don't care. But at one point, my sister had a friend who lived up here. So that's that. people that I knew have moved away from Bainbridge. There's not a lot. It's one of those towns where people come to live, but not really to work. There's not a lot of... my dad worked at Amphenol Aerospace over in Sydney, which is 5 miles from here. That was what brought us out here in this area in the first place, because I originally am from Indiana. So yeah, that's the town down there. You can actually get a kind of good view of it from up here. Of course, my head is the tripod, so I can't really look too much, or I'll drive off this fucking cliff. But down in there is the house. It's hard to see, but I believe it's... I remember the driveway went down and curved around. Might be like a summer house now or something. So there's the roof of it way down there. You can see it. There's the place. Yeah, this is the driveway. The reason I missed it is because nobody's been here. It's obviously somebody's summer home now or something. Or it's on the market, because if somebody lives there, they don't have a car and they don't leave their house because there's a big snowbank there. So anyway, yeah, that's that. Take a quick drive past the old high school, and our nostalgia tour of the exciting village of Bainbridge, New York will be over. That's about it. That's the whole town. Can't really complain though. I mean, I had an enjoyable time growing up here. I mean, shit, the town I live in now is smaller than this. I don't necessarily dislike larger towns. I've lived in larger towns. Oneonta for a while. Not that that's big, but it's technically a city at least, and, you know, has things like, you know, 24-hour businesses and all that shit. Not something you see in these little towns. Although there is a gas station here in town that's open 24 hours. Alright. Gonna screw the high school. I'll do it. You remember it, man. You remember what the high school was like. It was fine. It hasn't changed. It looks the same. How about that? Because I gotta piss. It's up there. That's the high school. There you go. Oh, well, excuse me. So yeah, I'm about to pee my pants. We're going back through the only light in town. Thanks, spring. Thanks for the encouragement. I feel so much better now. There's the Bainbridge bar. It's a real fucking happening place. If you like hillbillies and country music and cheap fucking Bud Light or whatever you're into. I mean, I guess. I only drank there one time. Went there with some friends as more of a joke than anything else, and even as a joke, it didn't really hold up. It grew quite boring very quickly. So yeah, we're going back out across the river because I want to go to this gas station because it's cheaper, and because it has a Dunkin' Donuts, and I want a coffee. I've only had 3 coffees today. That's not enough coffees. Oh my god, I gotta fucking piss. Like, it's to that point where it hurts. And the sacrifices I make. Alright. Well, have a good night, everybody, and I will see you maybe some other time, maybe not, depending on if I ever make another video. Bye-bye.